Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Allison Tibbs, founder of Nourished Life Coaching and Consulting, a transformative wellness coaching practice. For over 15 years, Allison has helped high-achieving women, executives, and entrepreneurs break free from burnout, restore balance, and create sustainable habits rooted in fitness, nutrition, and self-care. Allison, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in.
Thanks.
I always like to start from the beginning. Take me back to before you started Nourished Life Coaching and Consulting. What were you doing before? And then what really motivated you to start the company?
Yeah, I started out like a typical kid where I had this idea. I want to be in business. I pictured myself in a corner office with a beautiful view of a city. And so I did the whole high school, college, internships, go to the good school, get everything. And so I graduated and I went into corporate America. I was working in a really great job. But by 4 years in, I was completely burnt out. And just the pace of the work, the pace of the days, I started to see the women that I had aspired to. I started looking at their lives and their lifestyle. And I was like, I don't want this for myself. So I decided to, yeah. So I was like, nope, this isn't what I want. I want something different for myself. So I quit. I left corporate America at 25. And I took a gap year where I just really focused on taking care of myself because the last year of my corporate stint, I was noticing panic attacks. I was noticing just like skin issues and health issues and sleep issues, weight gain. So when I took that gap year, I went to Europe. I was really taking care of myself. I lost the weight. My skin cleared up. My sleep was better. Anxiety was better. And when I came back to the States, I felt it all happen all over again.
Wow.
And that was the first kind of aha that this is a systemic thing that's
Mm.
making me sick. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. So this was back in the day when Twitter was like, there was no Instagram, there was really no. And so I was just like documenting my journey on Twitter. And people started reaching out, wanting support, wanting help. And that's how I started the whole pivot into the fitness and the wellness space. I was a personal trainer. Then I got a nutrition coaching certification. I got all types of certifications, life coaching, executive coaching, because in my training, I was training executives and leaders. So when we
Cool.
were working out, we're talking about the issues and the challenges that they were having within their teams, within their organizations, within their own leadership. And that's really where I started to see how the two worked together. And that was my journey, was just continuing to dive deeper into how to support people. And that's where I've been. And I just navigated it throughout the years because of the dynamics of the world has changed with social media, with the pandemic, with burnout, quiet quitting, all these different things that we're now
Yeah,
seeing. I've just been able to be agile enough and evolve with my people as they're going through the challenges.
that's powerful. It sounds like you've pivoted a lot depending on what you've heard from your clients and what they were basically telling you the problems that they were having. I'm
Yeah.
very curious about one thing when it comes to burnout for founders and business owners, because I'm not sure if you've experienced this, but I've had a lot of guests on that come from corporate America, and they realize that being a business owner is a lot of work. It's as much, if not more work. You're wearing all the hats. So how do you go from corporate America to being your own business owner and navigate the burnout, the stress, all the chaos that can come with that?
Yeah. I will be honest and say when I first started, I did not take
Mm.
really good care of myself. I really subscribed to the hustle and grind mentality that was very attractive to me when I was in my 20s because I had the energy, right? I had the wherewithal to do it, but that really did come at a cost. And there are also some benefits to it. So I do think that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was different because we don't have the support, we don't have the tools, we don't have AI, we don't have certain things that We didn't have those things when I was starting off as like an entrepreneur and a founder. And so that's the landscape has changed. And I, for myself, a lot of what I've also done with my pivot has been from my own experiences of burnout. I burned out to the point where I was in the hospital for 4 days with liver failure, which is really confusing as a fitness and wellness person who doesn't drink enough to have liver issues. And that was a real wake up call for me, because I think as founders and I think as business owners and entrepreneurs, we are a special breed of people, right? Like we're motivated by purpose, or motivated by being of service, we're motivated by challenge, we're motivated by solving problems. And we really are in the flow state a lot. And sometimes that comes at a risk to our health and our well-being. And so we miss the warning signs, or we think that we're the exception to the rule because that we're built different, but the body keeps score. And so I think for most founders, most executive or entrepreneurs, leaders, anything, that there has to be an understanding and an acceptance that rest and recovery is just as important as those productive moments, those flow state moments, those grind moments, because they're going to happen. You're going to have them, but it's not sustainable for long periods of time. Eventually, there has to be a moment where you have to refill your tank. And I think it's putting systems in place. I think it's creating more opportunities for delegation, whether it's people or tools or AI, or it's simply just getting better at knowing what your real priorities are and not crowding everything into your calendar, thinking that everything's a priority, because that's not the case. So it's a bit of mindset shift and a bit of behavior change that has to happen to create the conditions where you're still successful, you're still scaling, you're still growing, and you're taking care of yourself, because 4 days in a hospital can be detrimental, can really shift the trajectory of a business, of an investment round, of leading a team, of bringing a product to market. So you have to think about those things. And most of my clients that I get come to me at that like moment of illness, sickness, injury, pain, a medical scare, a breakdown, a breakup. Like they typically come to me when they've just ignored all of the signs.
Yeah. That's powerful. Let's dive a little bit deeper into your business and what the offer looks like today.
Yeah.
Who do you say is your ideal customer? Who do you love to work with?
Who do I love to work with? I'm so grateful that I actually do have a good amount of clients that I absolutely love. And they really are those individuals who they have full lives. They are entrepreneurs, executives, founders, leaders. They have a big purpose. They have big responsibilities, and they're so good at managing everything else, but they're really bad at taking care of themselves. And so the beautiful thing in that is they already have the skills to do what they need to do. They just need to learn to apply it on themselves. And that's where I come in. And so I have a framework where we're looking at mindset. I incorporate some neuroscience into it. We look at behavior change. We're looking at their date, how they're spending their time, how they're prioritizing. So it's not just looking at make sure you drink your water and let me track your steps. That's a part of it, right? Getting data on what they're doing for their physical and mental health, but also how are they supporting it outside of the health and wellness aspect, because they start to get those wins and they see, wow, I'm noticing that I'm more present. I'm noticing that I'm more creative. I'm noticing that I'm sleeping better, which means I have more energy, and how that impacts other areas of their lives. So that's really, I want those high achievers. I want those high performers. I want those people that are go-getters. I want those people that have a lot on their plate and are super capable. They just need a little bit of help with focusing on themselves.
I love that. So
Yeah.
what does it actually look like to work with you? Like, how long are we working together? Is it
Yeah.
group coaching one-on-one? Walk me through that.
Yeah. So my main offer really is meeting one-on-one and meeting my clients where they are. So I have my framework. We meet for 90 days, 3 months, and that's just a really good opportunity for us to build the foundation. And what I find, because of the caliber of the individuals I work with, they're really like, you tell them what to do and they do it, right? So they're just looking for the systems, the processes, the tools. They're looking for those things. So in about 3 months, we're able to really integrate and really shift the foundations that they're building. Plus, they have me as like a knowledge source. They have me as a support source. So they're getting the foundation, but they're also getting the accountability. They're getting the empathetic approach to it, which sometimes they really struggle with as well. But they're also getting some rigor because we want change, because we want them to be healthy. We want them to be thriving. And so there's a lot of components that we're working with, and I'm really in the mix with them. After that 90 days, then there's the moment where it's okay. We continue this path because maybe there's now a new goal that you want to reach. Sometimes I get people to the point where they're feeling really good. And now they're like, okay, now I want to adjust my training and my sleep and my nutrition for running a marathon or preparing to have a baby. So sometimes like lifestyle shifts now shift. And so I'm with them on that now change. Or then we move them to which is what I'm really excited about now, is moving them to a different phase where it's a bit more tech enabled. And so using more of a wellness tech platform that I've been building that really helps to support them on the day to day, but still being connected and having some access to me just through different pathways.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's shift a little bit to the back end of the business because a lot of coaches, consultants that listen to this, and fortunately or unfortunately, sales and marketing is a big part of this business, right? You have to market yourself, you have to get in front of more people. So when it comes to customer acquisition, when you're looking to generate more leads, what do you do on that front when it comes to lead generation and marketing?
Yeah, I will say I've been really grateful because of my journey and my path. When you start out in fitness, and when you start out in fitness, the time that I started out in fitness, where social media was a really big focus and spotlight there as a fitness influencer for a good chunk of time, that really expanded my network to people who were really looking to me for fitness advice, workouts, those types of things. And I think that social media really helped me to continue to evolve my brand and evolve my narrative and messaging. And I was really lucky that a lot of those people came with me, because a lot of those people were also now realizing that there was more to health than just their workouts.
Mm.
So I think I really was at a sweet spot. I also had a couple of stints where I was a founding coach for a company called Tonal. So I was on camera filming workouts, and my workouts are still on Tonal. I was also filming fitness content for Beachbody. So then I had a new market of people that I was saying my messaging during the workouts I was filming. So as I'm coaching and walking people through workouts on they're accessing, they're hearing my messaging about recovery, around self-care, around mental health. And they're like, ooh, I want to connect with this person. So I will say that social media has been a really great tool for me. And I also love it. I love engaging on it. I love engaging with my community on social media on all the different platforms. So there is a sales path that has been really helpful for me. And I would say for a good chunk of my business, I would say about 70% of my business came from social media.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the other 30%.
The other 30% was word of mouth, and was like live events or doing webinars or doing traditional lead generation things like having a freebie on my website or having that and like an email nurturing sequence. So I would say that was my mix. And then just people who were referring me to their friends, and because they knew exactly who I was working with. So I think that in some way, I really stayed true to the niche that I was working with, and it made it easier for people to recommend and refer me to other people, because birds of a feather do flock together. And so I was
Mhm.
having a really cool opportunity of now working with friends of friends, which then created opportunities where it's like, hey, can you do this for a group? Hey, can you come into my office? Can you work with my team? Can you work with can you be the work with our sales kickoff event? Can you fly here to do that? I think for me, and what I would say for coaches, especially, it's being very clear about who you want to work with, what they really care about, and then just ad nauseum, just keep talking about it on all the
Yeah,
platforms, because every day you're getting more and more people who are coming into your community and your ecosystem. And you have to just continue to own that. And I think also people like to see that I'm consistent in some capacity, but I am also evolving.
very cool. So it sounds like with the social media piece, I'm assuming the majority of it is organic in terms of just organic following. Do you run any ads or anything like that?
I think there's a little bit of like ego that I have of not running ads for the longest. And I think now, because the social media landscape is so different now, it before it was really, you had your soapbox, you had your space, but it's different now. And so if I'm evolving how I work with people, I also have to evolve how I generate leads and how I get in front of people. So I'm slowly but surely now really starting to get comfortable with ads and understanding the best, doing research and testing what offers, what are A/B split testing things to see what's getting the clicks, what's getting the engagement, what do people want to hear, what keeps them in the funnel. So I think I've had some other colleagues, peers who just try the ads without really thinking it through, and they
Yeah.
don't get the best return on their investment. And so I think the biggest thing that I've started to get really obsessed with has been data, has been my numbers. I get really obsessed with looking at my email newsletters and seeing who's opening and the click rates, and every 3 months seeing who's still engaging, who's dropping off, testing emails and just seeing, and do the same thing with social media. So I think, that happens. And then also just getting really good feedback when I do a live event or a webinar. I just did a live event on Friday, and the feedback I got was really valuable around what do people want now? And there is now a move around the wellness space to get offline and to get back in person. My lead generation is shifting because I think as a whole and as a society, it's shifting again. People are now okay going back outside and being connected and being in person and being in community. So trying to find this new balance to get myself in front of new people and more people, it's become a bit more of a challenge, but I think it's just about being open and evolving.
Yeah, I love that. When you think of the vision and where you want to take your company in, let's say, the next 12 to 24 months,
Yeah.
what does that vision look like for you? Paint me that picture.
Yeah. I think the reality is, in being in the Bay Area, it really does open my eyes to, if I'm driving down the freeway into San Francisco, every single billboard is about AI, agentic AI. It's about technology, right? When I was living in LA, it was all about the latest movie, the latest TV show. Being here is really opening my eyes to the fact of where a lot of things are going that route. Even if we want to resist it, fine. But if you can find a way to position yourself where the stream is flowing, that is, I think, especially for coaches and consultants, I think that is something that is right now, this is the time to do it. And so for me, thinking about building out, how do I integrate AI into my business in a way to support, not a way to replace me, but a way to work in tandem with, to elevate me. So really trying to be in collaboration with that. So if I think 12 to 24 months now, I am looking at more of wellness platforms, tech-enabled solutions for my clients. I'm looking at ways to work with what they're using, right? So if they're using an Oura Ring, an Apple Watch, like what are some ways that I can integrate with that to help them make better decisions and for me to better coach and support them? So it's data, it's analytics, it's tech, while still keeping the human element, which is something that I believe is one of my strong suits. So that's really where I'm excited about and nervous and anxious about. Like, how do I take what I've been doing for so long and create it to be future proofed in a way that still has my fingerprint and my DNA in it, to where people feel it and say, yeah, that's Nourished Life. That's Allison.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
With that being said, what is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
Yeah, I mean, for right now, it's still great social. I'm on all the socials and it's just my name, Allison Tibbs. So whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, then also my website. My website talks a lot more about my process, about who I am, a little bit more of my story. I think a lot of people, when they come to my website and they read some of the things that I went through, they really resonate with it. And so typically when people come to my website and they fill out the form, usually what comes up is they'll say, I really appreciated what you said, or that thing really resonated with me, or I'm going through that right now. So easy to find on the socials or on my website. And yeah, would love to connect. And also too, I think for coaches and consultants who are really looking to make that shift, I think the biggest thing is like also starting to connect with other coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs who are also in that space too, like of evolving and shifting, because right now it's just really ripe and I can't help everybody, right? So we have to learn how to get ourselves out there so that everyone is really being of service to everyone.
Awesome. And that's AllisonTibbs.com, right?
Correct.
Beautiful. Any final words before we wrap up?
No, this was a really good conversation. I think just when you're so in the the mess of your work and building your business and trying to scale and grow. It's nice to sometimes have a conversation and just talk through your process and your journey and what you're looking forward to. So I just really appreciate this conversation. It really gave me some energy to get back to work.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go to AllisonTibbs.com. That's Allison with two L's and Tibbs with two B's.
Correct.
And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we were able to go from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.